Okay, what I want to talk about here, folks, is you see this picture here in the middle here, also the thumbnail, and this is a well-known symbol among, well, at least used to be more so a big thing back in maybe 10 years ago or more, with the hacker group Anonymous, quote unquote. But this symbol is actually synonymous to and symbolic of anonymity in the general sense. And this is what I want to talk about. Let's talk about online anonymity, okay? And the importance of having it and why it needs to be protected. Now, I know there's a lot of content creators that, you know, rail against the idea of other content creators not showing their face and things of that nature. And I do understand some of their gripe and grievance about it, because what tends to happen is sometimes you have some very trollish or irresponsible people who, you know, don't get to actually stand and say, look, you see is what you get by seeing their face. In other words, are they willing to actually be out in the open about their beliefs and stand on it and show full face and say, yeah, this is me, I'm saying it, and yep, I stand on it. And I get that part of it, but there's also another aspect of why not everybody should be compelled to show their face. As a matter of fact, there are content creators that don't show their face, and for probably quite good reasons. One would be Professor Black Truth, Jason Black of the Black Authority. There's a few other ones here that don't show their face. But those are two of the biggest ones that I can name right off the top of my head. And I can tell you that is important to have anonymity, because the thing is, one of the aspects or the values of having anonymity is it's able to, one, give the people the ability to protect their privacy. Two, which is also part of not being doxxed by people. And three, it actually helps to protect free speech. And there's probably more, but those are three that I can think off the top of my head. Okay, because first of all, you have people that dox, which is cyberbullying, that they don't like what somebody says, they go flag people's channel, they get somebody's information, or somebody happens to know the person who's on there, and some person from the past, some scumbag will say, yeah, you know what, this is his name, and this is where he lives, and blah, blah, blah. And you could have kids, you have a family that you put in jeopardy because of somebody not liking what you say. If you want to know who knows real well about that, ask Tommy Sotomayor. Because he was one of the first YouTubers that I know would have people actually go by his house. Actually had people actually follow his ex-girlfriend. A whole bunch of stuff. Where a man had to feel like he had to be armed in his own house. To the point where he had to have his daughter stay with the other parent because he felt like it was unsafe. And no one should live that way because they want to express their opinion, because some people don't agree. Not even Tommy. Okay? For all the flack that he gets of being, a controversial figure. But guess what? He hasn't killed anybody. He hasn't hurt anybody. You hurt your feelings, he's not responsible for that, because you're responsible for your own feelings, not other people. All right? This is part of having the Constitution that we have in this country. Now, are there flaws in that? Yes, there is. Are there things that can be changed? Yes, there are. That's why we have amendments. That's why we have legislation. That's why we're supposed to be able to have the ability to discuss changes, societal changes that need to be made in order to keep a peaceful and a functioning society. But just because someone's not showing a face does not mean that they're not providing valuable content and information. Okay? Green Gorilla is another one. Doesn't show his face. Provides excellent content and information. I can tell you, I got to give the brother credit for the one video he did about the Daughters of the Confederation. That was an excellent video he did. If you ever go over there to Green Gorilla channel, go check that out. Shout out to Green Gorilla. This is a studious man, well-educated man, a professor. Sometimes the politics don't allow people to always show their face, so it's not because they're scared, it's because they're in a certain position where it could cause a lot of drama in their life and not just affect them, it could affect the people they care about, people they're taking care of. So, and some of these people that are online here may be people, okay, hypothetically speaking, who could actually be people who are connected to the government. You don't know. Maybe they feel they have a moral obligation to put certain information out there. And guess what? We want to hear it. We don't want to rant about who's not showing the face and how it's not fair. I do think that if you are, like, such as myself, someone who doesn't show the face, you do have a certain responsibility to be fair to the audience and fair to other people that you talk about. You know what I mean? I do say that there is a responsibility that comes with it. See, some people want to be public figures and some people want to be private figures. I'll tell you something, there's an advantage to showing your face because it's easier to build your brand around your face and who you are and your character. You have to really prove yourself a lot more, and it takes a lot longer to build your brand when you go as a private figure and you're doing something like this. Okay? It's a lot more where you have to really earn trust. You have to really be consistent. When you show your face, people figure, okay, well, if he's showing his face, then he knows that he's going to have to answer, or she's going to have to answer for some things in public life. They're willing to take that chance. Now, some of these people, you may not want to run up on them because they may be carrying. But you know what? Unfortunately, there's some crazy people out here that will do that because they don't like somebody's opinion. Or because they feel like you have maybe a little bit too much draw, or your ethos is too big online to where you have too much support and they don't want people thinking the way, they don't like you, the type of thought leading you're doing, okay, that you're engaging in, okay? Those people are fascist, okay, no matter how you slice it. Whether they be feminist, black feminist, just racist people, people who just have a certain ideology of whatever. And the fact of the matter is, we have to have free speech. And honestly, we can't really have free speech truly be protected without having anonymity. That's the whole thing. So, yes, there are some YouTubers that were saying that how can you guys take someone seriously that's not showing face? Well, it's not their face that is the thing that actually has value, is information and how credible and how consistent. And there's something that you use as a word that you use called verification. You can look at the information. They might be able to show you the documents. They may be able to give you enough information that you can reference to see the credibility of the testimony they're giving. And you can be a judge for yourself. Some people are going to believe stuff, some people aren't. Some people are going to just not believe it because they're assholes and don't want to believe it. Let's just be real. So the bottom line is, if you're responsible, you don't show your face, and you don't use your platform to attack or go after people, which you shouldn't do it even if you do show your face in reality. It's fine to give critiques. It's fine to, be able to have your critiques, good or bad. But you need to be fair. You shouldn't be out here lying on people, no one, whether you show your face or not. That's defamation. Okay? You shouldn't be out here doxing people. Okay? That's irresponsible and dangerous. Because even if you don't want something to happen, by you putting someone's public address out there, some other fool might get that public address and say, yeah, I'm going to go after him. I'm going to go see about that. And some very bad things can happen. So you are complicit in what possibly could be a crime in the long run by putting that information out there. Some people are just they're just basically straight up savages, man. And what you got to understand is, we still need a free flow of information as best we can. Because let's be real, even on YouTube and a lot of social media platforms, it's not as free as they want you to think it is. There's always, with some of this advertiser with these models like DEI and ESG and all this other stuff, which all are social engineering tactics, which in reality has nothing to do with marketing. It's just some people who have a lot of money that want to have control over the overall society and try to instill the values in you that they want to. not the ones that you already have. They don't want to cater to the ones that are there. No, what they want to do is try to structure to get you, to program you to buy into what they want you to buy into. So really, they don't really want to engage in real capitalism. They don't really want to do the work. They want to get engaged in some type of, you know, hypnosis, world hypnosis of let us enforce things on you in an imperialistic way. Let's engage in cultural imperialism in one way or another. You know what? That's still imperialism in general is something, whether it's being done outright or it's being done through manipulation, is going to create cognitive dissonance to anyone who's a thinking person when they compare one thing and what they're saying here is something completely different. It's still disruptive psychologically at the end of the day. It's not normal. And at the end of the day, you can only lie to people for so long, but this is what we got going on here. We got a lot of mainstream media. There's no real editorial independence. People don't really, they hire people based on things they know that they're going to say and not say. They already know. And then they wonder why a lot of these YouTubers are beating these mainstream media sources because everybody knows they're bought and paid for. They're corporate owned. They're mainly corporate owned, so it's not about what the truth is, about what they can sell you on, what they want you to bite on. And people are getting tired of it because just like with the economy, just like with everything else, people might buy into it for a while, but when they see the results from what they're being told, they're going to say, well, how come I'm not getting results? And you can keep telling them it's their fault and do what, typical corporate culture does, have you running that freaking treadmill, have you running that rat wheel, and when you don't get where you're going, they're going to tell you you're not running fast enough. Eventually people figure it out, okay? That you're not meant to win, no matter how hard you work. Because you know what they do? They raise the bar the minute you get a little closer. So they're dangling a carrot on you, like in the workforce, that, when they have, like, if you're a manager, you get incentives, right? Because a lot of times people get, if you're a management, especially you get into a certain management position, you get paid salary, right? In a lot of cases, they want you to take salary. So if you take salary, then you get extra pay on incentives. You get bonuses, commissions, right? But a lot of times they set the bar so high in a lot of cases that it's almost impossible to reach. This way they don't have to pay the incentives. Then they can say, well, it's your fault, you're not working hard enough. And then what happens a lot of times is that the employees end up getting cheated on some stuff because somehow they jip them for hours or certain things in order to make up their bonuses. And and a lot of these systems end up forcing people to do that. Okay? So my thing is, we have to have anonymity online. And just because somebody doesn't show their face doesn't mean that they're not credible, doesn't mean they're not giving credible information. There's a lot of YouTubers out here that don't show their face that give credible information. Why? Because you shouldn't just take what anybody tells you as gospel. What you should be doing is verifying what they're saying. Look for, don't just look for affirmation from the content creators. Look to do your own research too. That's going to let you know how credible the information you're getting is. That's going to let you know that if the person that's on behind that screen is really telling you the truth. You'll know because you'll be able to sense it. You'll be able to see evidence of it in real life as well. So at the end of the day, we need to have, because let's be honest, there's certain information out here they don't want out here. Mainstream don't want out here. The powers that be don't really want out here. Look at a lot of these red pill guys in the beginning, manosphere guys, black manosphere guys in particular. Look how many times guys had their channels taken down, flagged, and everything else, and it's gotten better. But guess what? They won because they fought. They fought the fight for a long time, and a lot of algorithms work against that type of stuff. See, they always work towards anything that's going to get women to dig in their pockets because they know women are the biggest consumers, and in particular, black women. So they're look at a lot of these other content creators. Some of these content creators will talk a lot of stuff, but at the end of the day, you know what? Even though I know certain things are true, they won't go after black women because guess what? A lot of them make their bread off of black women, and we all know it. I've seen some of the analytics of some of these social media people, and I remember this one brother who had a channel that was for black folks. It was a black social media thing where basically to get different stuff, particularly for black folks. And the statistics was on his website that 2/3, about 6-7%, of the users on his platform were black women. So you think that a guy who has a platform where he's getting most of his support from black women is going to say something about black women? In most cases, they're going to pander. Now, if you have some real principles and you're going to say, well, you know what, I'm still not going to say things because I know they're not true, just to pander for money. But guess what? A lot of people do it. A lot of people do it. I mean, look at what was his name? Derek Jackson. Remember him? That guy, he'd say pretty much anything to diddle black women's ego. I mean, he did, and he made money off of it. And a few others have. Dr. Moist, he's another one that's a panderer. Umar Johnson, another pandering Negro. Okay? He's out here shaming black men about the whole snow bunny thing, which is it's hilarious because at the day, here's a Negro who got 2 baby mamas, not married to either one of them. And then set up on Joe Budden's podcast talking about how, well, you know, it's okay if a black woman spends money because she's black and she's not part of the community that oppressed you. That's the logic that we got out here. All right? That's what we got going on. People got to be able to say what they want, even if they don't show their face. That's just reality. Does not necessarily mean they're a coward. It depends on their circumstances. But they still have a voice. There shouldn't be a condition that says, if you don't show your face, if you don't stand out in the public square, then we don't want to hear you. Because really what they're saying is that we want to have the ability to attack you if we don't agree with you. So yes, you know, anonymity is crucial to the survival of free speech and openness and having a public discourse, and honest public discourse. Some people are in a position where, and the thing is, when you're a public figure, you still have a lot of benefits. Why? Because again, you build your brand a lot easier showing your face. So there's advantages to showing your face versus not, clearly. So, you know, people can attach themselves to a face. It's hard for people to attach themselves to ideas and pictures and just the bones information. So, you know, but the reality of it is important that we have an internet where people don't have to have a code or a registration to be logged into the internet. Kind of nonsense people like Nikki Haley will actually try to promote. That's just nothing but fascism, folks. It's just nothing but basically a new. So we already have surveillance capitalism as it is at this point. We're already, you know, a lot of the data that they take that you don't know that they're using on you, metadata, all that stuff. So we need to be able to hold on to something, okay? We need to. And you need to listen to what somebody's saying rather than just seeing what they say. Okay? So, with that being said, just wanted to run that through. I'll be doing another video at some point here, and I'm out.